Welcome, everyone. We're so glad to see Ford School faculty, staff, students, and family together to celebrate the class of 2021. I'm Luke Schaefer, Herman and Amalia Cohn, Professor of Social Justice and Social Policy, and Associate Dean for Research and Policy Engagement at the Ford School, and I'm here to extend a warm welcome to everyone. I love the Ford School, a place that seeks to use data, evidence, and analysis to make the world a better place. And the biggest part of what makes the Ford School special is the amazing things that our students do while they're here and after they graduate. And today we mark just such a transition for a special group. And this is a special day, one where we bring our community together. While we won't be able to shout out congratulations at a live event, we also won't get trapped looking for parking while we go. And we can use the chat or Zoom reactions to congratulate our students, our friends, our colleagues, our sons and daughters as we go. Remember, this event is for the whole community. Let's make it special for everyone and be considerate. If you or your family are having any problems on Zoom, feel free to watch the simulclass on YouTube. You can see the link to that in the chat. For the best experience, keep your Zoom window on speaker view. The recording of this event will be available on the Ford School website later today or early tomorrow. BA graduates. If you're wearing a mortarboard, you haven't graduated quite yet. So please be sure your tassel is on the right. We'll let you know when the time comes to move it. The event today will consist of a set of prepared remarks as videos. And the event will be capped off with a presentation of the class by my friend and colleague, Professor Shobita Parthasarathi. So let's move forward. We're gonna start out with remarks by former Assistant Secretary of Treasury, Counselor to the President, the man, the myth, the legend, Dean Michael Barr.
Good afternoon. I'm Michael Barr, the Joan and Sanford Weill Dean of the Gerald R. Ford School of Public Policy. I am honored today to recognize and celebrate the accomplishment of the Ford School classes of 2021, our outstanding graduates who have earned their bachelor's, master's of public policy, master's of public affairs, and doctoral degrees. Students choose the Ford School because they care about the greater good. They work hard while at Michigan, and they learn to work together. They graduate prepared with the knowledge and analytic expertise, the leadership prowess, and the writing and communication skills needed to design, advocate for, and implement good public policy. In that respect, the classes of 2021 are like any other graduating Fordies. But of course, this class's experience at Michigan were not like any other. Most of today's graduates started their Ford School studies in the fall of 2019. Students, you might remember that semester for the launch of a major new center for diplomacy. We hosted amazing speakers, Hillary Clinton and Condoleezza Rice in the same week, Samantha Power, Steve Biegun, Susan Rice, Dennis McDonough, and Steve Hadley. All those visits were in person with handshakes, packed auditoriums, and of course, free food. That seems like a really long time ago. In the midst of winter term, the COVID pandemic upended our world, bringing so much suffering and loss, with devastating health and economic impacts disproportionately felt by the most vulnerable. By May, and for week after week over the summer, the death of George Floyd and so many other Black and brown people at the hands of the police spurred millions of Americans to take to the streets, demanding racial justice. In the chaotic, scary months leading up to and following the November election, we experienced deepening divisions in the United States, rising racism and white nationalism, and both rhetorical and violent attacks on our democracy. Here on campus, we suffered through a divisive return to school last fall, and we weathered a widely supported strike by graduate students who called on the university to make real strides on public health and racial justice. When the pandemic hit last March and we moved suddenly to an unfamiliar new remote world of learning, teaching, and work, I started what became a nightly email communication to the whole school for the remainder of the semester. Through those emails, graduates, you learned perhaps far more than you ever wanted to about me. Tastes in romantic comedies, thoughts on the weather, our Passover menus, love for the Harry Potter movies, my good days and hard days. But along the way, I was trying to model a way forward through the crisis. With all of you so much on my mind recently, I looked back at some of those emails. On March 17th, just as we started remote classes, I wrote, "Crises help us to remember who we are and what we stand for. The Ford School is a community dedicated to the public good." And in the days and months since, graduates, you've shown that's true. You've demonstrated who you are. You are leaders grounded in service. You helped vulnerable communities, armed policymakers with facts and tools, worked with nonprofits and small businesses, marched for racial justice, listened and learned and stood up. You protected each other's health, offered an outstanding education and kept our community connected, and turned out the vote, standing up for our democracy. The crises revealed you as resilient and strong. You persevered to complete your Ford School degree, and you helped each other and so many others along the way. Graduates, we've weathered this whole brutally hard year together as a community dedicated to the public good. Our shared experiences this past year have bonded us together forever. I know that for the rest of my life, I'll remember with great warmth and gratitude this class and the faculty and staff who taught and mentored you and kept our mission moving forward. I speak for the entire faculty and staff of the Ford School when I say we're proud of you. We believe in you, in your capacity and your conviction and your preparation and your empathy to take on the great challenges before us. Congratulations on all you've accomplished at Michigan. My heartfelt gratitude and best wishes to the classes of 2021. Go Blue.
Thank you, Michael. And we already have one request to remain on your Sunday night emails after graduation. And I see everyone in the audience seems to be quite comfortable with the chat. So keep the messages and congratulations coming. Next up, we're going to hear remarks from our faculty presented by my colleague whose classes have the reputation of being some of the most challenging and also the most powerful and best. Let's hear from Yazir Henry.
Dear students, honored graduates, when asked to make remarks at commencement before, I made serious efforts to integrate levity. Not an easy task for me. I am neither an entertainer nor a comedian. I'm in no mood to be humorous and promise to make no such effort today. It is a privilege to address you at this time of somber celebration. I acknowledge your family, friends, and loved ones for supporting you. I want to appreciate the communities, the pods, and the health bubbles that supported us, you, this institution, and me through what has been one of the hardest academic years I have witnessed. I acknowledge my colleagues for adapting to this ever-changing professional reality and seeing the year through. I thank the Ford School staff, without whom the labor, work, and business of learning and teaching cannot happen. My own online learning curve has been steep. I had to learn a new way of being, of teaching, and new ways of knowing almost overnight. The spirit, mental, and physical toll exacted in order to achieve this convocation, this moment of your graduation, has been high. The loss of the classroom, the loss of our personal, professional, and intrinsic relationships as learners and teachers has been painful, to say the least. The larger social, political, environmental, and moral meta-context of our lives, both nationally and more globally, has not provided much relief. The constant live streaming of death, violence, bigotry, lies, and dishonesty have felt relentless. The ongoing lived racist violence and trauma has been terrifying for far too many. To quote James Baldwin, "I'm terrified at the moral apathy, the death of the heart of these times. I'm aware the compound social, political experiences, the stress and strain over the last years have been particularly hard on you, the graduating student body. I want to pause now and take a breath. Since you and I have the privilege of breath, still, take a minute to reflect on what you as graduates have achieved. Give a thought to the human beings, the impressive, striking, amazing, resilient, and strong people who have walked with and alongside you. Those you have depended on and who have depended on you. If you cannot see them, imagine, remember them. Together you are the wealth of this institution and the future of this world. Graduates, together you have succeeded in the midst of an extreme set of circumstance. Congratulations. Well done. This particular degree is no ordinary piece of paper. It is no ordinary degree. It signifies and symbolizes a very special achievement in adversity. Celebrate this achievement. It is extraordinary, just as you are. See the strength, the resilience that lives in you and those graduating with you. You and I are all part of a small knowledge and power elite. Be both honest and humble about this fact. Remember, arrogance is a choice too often accompanied in practice by the violent ignorance and emotive immaturity of the powerful. Wherever you go next, you are called to be both strength and humility, resilience and tenacity, fortitude and vision. Accept this challenge of leadership as public and civil leaders, intellectuals and academics, researchers and analysts, policymakers and change agents. You have done the extraordinary. You can do it again, and you can do it again. Take what you have learned from the adversity, difficulties, and losses of this time while acquiring your degrees. You are the witnesses to this time of loss, grief, mourning, of resolution, strength, of resilience, and a refusal to be cowed. Importantly, as survivors, you are also the hope of tomorrow. Live that hope, be that hope, accept this generational challenge with a strength of purpose and willingness of heart. Make this world better than it is. Graduates, congratulations. Be as beautiful as you are. Go blue.
Thank you, Yazir, for reminding us that we all had to learn to do things differently this year, and that this degree is more than a degree of graduation, but one of achievement through adversity. And thank you for calling us to take up the mantle of leadership. Next, we'll hear from the speaker on behalf of the graduating BA class, someone I had the pleasure of meeting after her freshman year, who I immediately knew was destined to do great things. And I think after you watch her speech, you will agree. Sydney Gardner Brown.
Hello to the Ford School faculty, family, friends, and of course, the Gerald R. Ford School of Public Policy graduating class of 2021. My name is Sydney Gardner Brown, and today I am graduating with all of you into the unknown. All of our lives, we've been taught and trained to be amazing academics and thinkers and dancers and future lawyers and activists. Most importantly, though, we've been trained to be planners. Let me tell you about my plans for my college career, and I'm sure plenty of you can relate. I'd come to Michigan in 2017 to study biology. I'd make the cheer team, obtain a 4.0 GPA, have an amazing full 4 years on campus, and then when it was time, on May 1st, 2021, which at the time seemed like eons away, I'd sit in the big house with my friends and my family cheering me on as I graduated, proud and fulfilled? Well, many of those things did not happen that way. It wasn't in my plan 4 years ago to switch gears and study public policy. I didn't make the cheer team, which makes sense because I had no prior gymnastics or cheerleading experience before I tried out. I didn't plan to complete my entire senior year through Zoom calls at home in Detroit. And the worst part is that after 4 years of looking forward to this day on campus in the big house, we're graduating through a screen. As good at planning as we thought we were, none of us could have planned or predicted how this year would unfold. The reality is that we've all been trying to predict a future full of infinite possibilities that are impossible to plan for. The implications of this fact can be scary. Sometimes I'm scared too. How can we be sure that things will go well if we can't plan our every move? Well, we can't be sure. As David Levithan said in the Lover's Dictionary, the mistake is thinking that we can find an antidote to the uncertainty. Yeah, okay, that's pretty grim. But there is an upside to all of this. If the only thing that we can predict is that life will keep being unpredictable, maybe we should focus less on some predetermined destination and live more fully in the journey. As Rilke wrote, try to love the questions themselves. Do not now seek the answers which cannot be given you because you would not be able to live them. The point is to live everything. Live the questions now. So I ask all of you today, can we find solace in the not knowing? Can we live the question? I think we can. I think we already have. Last summer, we saw what it looked like when we individually and as a collective were confronted with a new awareness of an old reality. In the context of rising understanding around police brutality, the cruelty of the prison industrial complex, and the unveiling of the condition of systemic oppression, we asked ourselves hard questions about our complicity, about our privilege, and about our responsibility. And we didn't just ask ourselves those questions, we lived them. In the midst of a global pandemic, people across identities found amazing and creative ways to organize, fundraise, and come together however they could. Nobody planned on any of that, but guided by important questions, we improvised to make important and necessary change. That is but one of many examples of what it looks like when we leaned into a moment that felt unbearable and unpredictable and hard. We've done it. You've done it. I like the way that U of M alum and Detroit native Gilda Radner put it. I wanted a perfect ending. Now I've learned the hard way that some poems don't rhyme and some stories don't have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Life is about not knowing, taking the moment, having to change, and making the best of it without knowing what's gonna happen next. So, my charge for all of you today, as we embark on this life, as you all matriculate through law school, or Washington, D.C., or a consulting firm, or home, or a master's program across the Atlantic. Release the chokehold you have on the destination. Let your values, your curiosities, your passions, let them guide you. Live the question. It may not take you where you thought you were headed, but it's going to take you exactly where you need to go. Good luck and go blue.
Thank you, Sydney, for that powerful video and that charge as we all go forward from today, the graduates and our community. Now we're going to hear remarks from the graduate, the speaker on behalf of the graduating MPP, MPA class, the one and only one of the leaders of our school, who's, among other things, served on the Master's Program Committee for 2 years. Let's welcome Maggie Barnard.
Congratulations, class of 2021. Those of us who crawled, sprinted, or glided across the finish line. I'm not sure who glided, but I'm jealous. We did it. Many of us experienced 2 different graduate school lives. One where we sat wide-eyed, shoulder to shoulder in Annenberg, participating in hypothetical policy exercises. And another where we sat with terror in our eyes, in front of a screen, miles apart, as our exercises turned into reality. And we scrambled to analyze the life or death policy decisions happening in real time. Before we entered the real world came to us and brought with it painful reckonings. We faced a once-in-a-century health pandemic where weak US policy sacrificed lives. We witnessed the weight of our leadership's discriminatory rhetoric as Asian Americans are attacked. We watched Americans finally realize that white supremacy continues to suppress Black lives. We may not have been prepared for this, but crisis mode forced us to adapt and act. Uncertainty became our constant companion, both in our school and personal lives. But because of the challenges we encountered, we've already learned to meet some of the world's biggest problems before ever leaving a classroom. When the COVID-19 campus response was insufficient and Black lives were and continue to be at stake, we went on strike. When the nation pleaded for poll workers, we showed up. When elderly were at risk, we volunteered at vaccine clinics. Many of you did these things while combating your own personal struggles, whether it be facing mental illness in isolation or caring for sick loved ones. But when our peers were burnt out, we called them and carried them. We didn't prepare to meet these trials during graduate school, but how the class of 2021 adapted and innovated over the past year has equipped us to meet the challenges of our day and more. And how we met those challenges has prepared us to enter a workforce that has always very much modeled the past academic year, messy and uncertain. Soon we will enter spaces where the efficacy of our policy isn't determined by a letter grade, but by its lived impact. We have the policy tools. And if we endured and accomplished all of this in crisis, imagine our impact over the next years, decades, with our newfound clarity and conviction. Any other year, we'd ask ourselves, has school prepared us for the real world? But this year, we ask, how will we prepare the world to heal? Go Blue.
Thank you, Maggie, for that great summary of the year and what lays ahead. I think we don't have to go any further than the remarks of our students and our faculty today to see what a special place this is. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the presentation of class of 2021. I'm pleased to introduce my colleague, Professor Shobita Parthasarathi, who, when she's not testifying before Congress, is writing and teaching about ethics, equity, science, and technology. And she's going to read the names of our 2021 graduates. Shobita, take it away.
Thanks, Luke. Good afternoon, everyone. To begin, I'll call graduates earning doctoral degrees. Chiara Ferrero is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy in Public Policy and Economics. She'd like to thank her dissertation chair, Jim Hines, and her committee, Yusuf Neggers, Joel Slemrod, and Ashley Craig. Her dissertation title is Essays in Public Finance and Political Economy. Michael Lerner is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy in Public Policy and Political Science. He would like to thank his dissertation chair, Chuck Shippen, and Barry Rabe. The title of his dissertation is Does Transnational Advocacy Catalyze Environmental Policy Leadership? And finally, Stephanie Owen is receiving a Doctor of Philosophy in Public Policy and Economics. Her dissertation chair is Sue Donarski, and the title of her dissertation is Essays in the Economics of Education. And now we'll celebrate our graduates receiving a master's degree in public affairs. Dominic Ariano, Ethan David Baker, Anna Balzer, Carly Bolware, Anne Colanisi, Tom Cruz, Lindsay Dowswell, Stephanie Iovan, Haley Juris, Raymond Kahn, Jamie Lyons Eddy, Christopher Brian McLean, Rebecca Ostosh, Julia Rhodes, Anuj Sahay, William Scott Selesky, Lamia Sharatsanova, Jamaica L. Thomas, and William Whelan. Next, we'll recognize our graduates receiving a master's degree in public policy. Rebecca Ackerman, Rukeya Emud, Malik Ali Anani, Monica Anderson, Jonathan Ashken, Leonime Aumentado, Capri Bacchus, Maggie Barnard, Aditya Benjamin, Ali M. Berry, Sharon Brown, Chris Campbell, Linnea Carver, Christian Casanova Velarde, C.D. Cheng, Allison Christensen, Samuel Thomas Concherat, Rebecca Copeland, Osha Cowley Shireman, Kellen Data, Carolina Dominguez, Chad Dowding, Jerome Durden II, Nishat Farzana, Kevin Finnegan, Yanjing Fu, Omeya Ganpule, Stephen Garcia, Eli Gold, Sarah Gruen, Shiyu Guo, Sophia Hart, Wendy Hawkins, Baltazar Hernandez, Samuel Ainsworth Hurd, Sungwook He, Kesania Husak, Kyle Douglas Jarrett, Jacqueline Kahn, Maxwell Kaufman, Emma Kern, Jaeyoon Kim, Sun Hong Kim, Heather Kinningham, Andrew Krantz, Jocelyn Kuo, Chris LaFleur, Barton Linderman, Tori Lowy, Diedrich McCord, Safia Merchant, Eric Muliawan, Landon Myers, Ikra Nasser, Kevin Nod, Megan Schroeder O'Leary, Nathan Ojo, Akinlolua Olumarati, Tanya Omolo, Guy Packard, Sharanya Pai, Edwin Pert, Lauren Alexandra Pesach, Sasha Rose Phillips, Avril Erica Prakash, Carolina Ana Ramos, Victor Ochieng Ruteng, Kristen Jade Richardson, Sarah Richardson, Matthew Rigdon, Jonathan J. Rodriguez, Danny Rosa, Hannah E. Rosenfeld, Julie Rubin, Orlando Sanchez Zavala, Mariatu Funa Santiago, Mariam Saeed, Matt Serswini, Alex Surware, Risky Odi Putro Sitompo, Mariana Smith, Thomas Staines, Kai Su, Eleanor M. Sullivan, Yaya Sun, Nitha Sayed, Jessica Taketa, Kalena Tomhave, Sarah Tresetter, Sarah Truax, Amy C. Turner, Maize Yang, James Van Steele, Connor Wakayama, Alex Weaver, Mikkel Huntz Weiss, Kelly Wilcox, Annalisa Wilder, Wanzuo Yang, Triana Jensen Toro, Mohammed Akbar Zadran, Jingwen Zhen. And finally, we will celebrate the students receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Public Policy. Baha Abazid, Leah Edelman, Cameron L. Banks, Hilal Bazi, Mariana Bougie Perez, Bennett Bramson, Mary Bryce Brannon, Anthony Bowie, Sabrina Butcher, Connor Kane, David Carpenter, Damian Cesare, Miriam Chung, Julia Cohn, Sheridan Jane Cole, Meredith Winston Days, Samantha Della Fera, Brady Diller, Lena Dreves, Jack Eichner, Jackie Erlon Bergeon, Riston Escher, Sydney Gardner Brown, Molly Gariantes, Abigail Elizabeth Gothrop, Benjamin Gerstein, Leah Graham, Maximilian Grail, Erin Crawford Grant, Aroshi Gupta, Grace Herman, Nora Kate Hilgart Griff, Dylan Horwitz, Jonah Dylan Jacobs, Simone Jaroslaw, Molly Edersheim Kalb, Amanda Kaplan, Grace Kent, Daniel Kim, Daphne Krieger, Alex Kramer, Marita Key, Tal Lipkin, Caroline Logue, Lucia Lopez Alais, Michael Elliott Lovegrove, Matthew McPhail, Camille Liliana Mancuso, Kelly Martin, Julia Esther Mati, Kerrigan McCabe, Madeline Teresa McLaughlin, Erin May, Magdalena Mihailova, Catherine T. Miner, Jason Moonka, Karuna Nandakumar, Bennett Newhoff, Summer O'Sullivan, Devin O'Toole, Michael Antonio Ocasio, Eric Payerly, Angelica Priest, Allison Marie Pujol, Connor William Wone Reese, Alexandra Shadkosh, Sarah Sarnak, Julia Skavnicki, Julia Siegel, Nicholas Silk, Maeve Ann Skelly, Lauren Michelle Solomiani, Trevor Stratz, Zaina Syed, Eliza Sykes, Martin Taxe, Michaela Udfolk, Claire Vapnik, Jacob Viviano, Matthew Weiner, Ryan Wook, and Brett Daniel Soslavsky. BA graduates, at this time, please move the tassel on your mortarboard from the right to the left. And now, I'm so proud to present to you the Gerald R. Ford School of Public Policy's classes of 2021.
Congratulations, class of 2021. I want to invite everyone to switch to gallery view in Zoom in the upper right-hand corner. And we're just going to allow a few minutes for folks to unmute if you like and give a round of applause and chats all together. I got through most of the 17 pages of our community, and it's great to see everyone's faces. I want to give a special thank you to the Ford School staff who worked so hard to make this event go so smoothly today. Really tremendous work during, as we've all talked about, challenging times that call for innovation. And thank you to the families who support all the graduates through their time together. I'm gonna charge every graduate to thank the people in their lives who gave support to get them to this moment. So we hope you enjoyed the event today. Congratulations, class of 2021. And we're gonna end the event in the way that U of M events are always ended, with a round of our fight song. So please join me singing wherever you are. We're all gonna do it together. Have a wonderful day and congratulations, class of 2021. Go Blue.